Lighting really has a powerful impact on the vibe of your videos. I'm going to show you how to use the right lights in order to get the right vibe that you want in your videos every single time. So let's talk about it. I've had a lot of experience as a filmmaker for the past 5+ years, and one of my favorite things has always been the lighting. I love learning about lighting. I love trying new things with lighting. And every single time I'm still so surprised at how much it really affects the video. The feeling, the story, it really has such an impact on the overall video quality and how it's presented and how it's received. So it's important to understand lighting, what it does, how it impacts, and how to change it correctly in order to tell the right story for your video. Anytime you approach a scene, you want to first think about what kind of story am I trying to tell here? Or you can ask the client what kind of story they're wanting to tell in this scenario. Then you can select your framing and create your lighting around that framing in order to tell the story that fits the scene. So to demonstrate this concept, we're set up here in my home office, and we're going to leave this camera in this one position for the entire video, but I'm going to change the lighting to show how it affects the overall mood of this video simply by changing the lighting, not the camera position. Let's create 3 different styles or moods of lighting. First, we'll do a bright look, then we'll do a moody look, and finally we'll do a natural look. And this will show 3 really different options that you can do in one room. First up, let's do a bright look. For this, we want to make sure that the whole room kind of looks bright. It looks like daytime, it's happy, it gives off kind of a clean vibe. Everything is well lit, there's not a lot of shadows, it's not super moody. We're wanting it to feel bright and airy. We will look at 3 different factors in order to accomplish this bright look. First of all, we need to think about our key light. For something that's a really bright setting, you'll probably want to do kind of flat and even key lighting where there's not a lot of shadow, there's not a lot of Rembrandt or Moody lighting going on the face. You want bright, even key lighting. So let's adjust our key light to accomplish this look. I'm using a lantern attachment on the Amarin F22 Flex panel. So let's see if we adjust this over to be more in front of me, match our temperature to the daylight from outside, and I will put up these skirts to allow this light to spill over the whole room. Okay, to accomplish this nice, even, bright key lighting, I've just positioned the key light so that it's kind of over the camera and it's filling in both sides of my face, creating just a nice, even, bright lighting. There's not a lot of shadows going on, we're just evenly lighting my face. After we've adjusted the key light to fit the vibe that we're going for, the next thing we need to look at is the room tone. So this is the overall lighting of the whole room itself. If we're going for a bright look, then the room needs to look bright and airy as well. So let's place a light to accomplish this goal. I'm just simply going to raise up our hair light / background light. We can go into our Sidus Link app, and I'm just going to raise the intensity of this light so that the whole room is looking bright and airy. So you can tell that's already helping to brighten up the whole room. Let's also now add a light in the background to light up that wall and bring more light into the room overall. Now that we've added that background light, the whole vibe of the video is really starting to feel bright and airy and a really fun, happy vibe. You could even throw on this lamp to add a little bit more. The third thing we want to look at is like the accent lights, such as the lamp and this tube light. This is where if we're going for a bright, happy vibe, we could throw in some really fun colors. This is a really cool, bright vibe for your video. Now, let's try out a moody setup. To create this moody vibe, let's think about our 3 things to consider when it comes to lighting up this space. First is our key light. For a moody setup, we want to do something that kind of creates shadow and gives off that moody vibe. So let's try out a Rembrandt lighting setup. Let's move our key light to one side, and let's also flag this back off so that the light doesn't spill everywhere in the room if we're wanting it to be a moody look. We only really want it to spill towards me. Let's bring down the intensity. I've moved our key light over here at about a 45-degree angle, so we're getting a little bit of that Rembrandt triangle, creating a moody look. Now let's move on to the second part, which is the room tone. Let's make sure that our room overall is kind of giving off a darker, more moody vibe. To do this, I'm probably going to need to cover up this window because it is daylight outside. I was able to block out this window with black trash bags. Now let's turn off this bright background light. Already you can see this is starting to look a lot more moody. Let's bring down that hair light. Now we are really starting to get a moody vibe. Now that we have the overall room tone kind of darker and more moody, let's adjust our third set of lights, and that is the accent lights. Now we have colors that kind of invoke that more moody feeling. If you're wanting to go for a really dark vibe, you can turn off the accent lights in the background. Let's see what that would look like. We could even turn off the hair light to make it darker. This is with just the key light. And if we turn down the intensity of the key light, we could create a really dark scene. Let's go through all the lights one by one. This is the key light, this is the hair light, this is the tube light, and that's the lamp. We took the bright vibe and we turned it into a moody vibe. Let's see what it looks like if we add a sunset lamp to the background. Sunset lamps are a really affordable way to add cool texture and lighting and color to the background of your videos. It also adds to that moody appearance. Now let's move on to the last look that we want to achieve, and that is a natural look. The first thing we need to consider is our key lighting. We just want something that's soft and very pleasing on the face that looks very natural. Let's reposition our key light to achieve this look. I moved the key light to this side and I put it a little bit closer to the camera, so not as far of an angle away from the camera as we had it before. I also placed it on this side because I have a window on this side of my room that I'm going to unblock since we put garbage bags over it. That way the natural light coming from that direction will look like it's acting as the key light for this video. So let's open this window back up. Now we have light coming in from the window to kind of add to the room tone. And that's the next thing that we need to consider. Let's make the room look like it's naturally being lit by daylight. So let's adjust our background lights to do that. To accomplish this, I placed a tube light behind my sheer curtain to act as more sunlight pouring into the room from that direction. Let's now adjust our third thing, which is our accent lights, to give off a natural look. For this, we probably don't want to use colors. Here we have a really natural look. It looks almost as if the sun is just shining in at a normal part of the day, lighting up the room with beautiful natural lighting. And that was just 3 overall vibes that you can create in one space, all just dependent on the lighting. You can go for a bright look, or a moody look, or a natural look. It's all about lighting placement, lighting color temperature, and creating the right vibe for the story that you're trying to tell in your videos. Hopefully this was helpful for you and gave you some inspiration for the next time you need to set up lighting for a shot. You'll be able to think through, what story am I trying to tell and how can I craft the lighting to accomplish that story? Comment below which look was your favorite and if there are any other lighting tips or tutorials that you want to see me do. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the video I did on my home office studio space where I set up a whole bunch of different angles and lighting setups to see what I liked for YouTube videos.